I can't. I can't even move 1 more millimeter because I'm starved.
Stew well and raise slowly. You mustn't be in a rush with both soup or Pokemon.
Hey you, the boy over there. Are you Ash from Palatown?
That's me, baby. That's me.
No. That's the wrong Ash.
Can I have a Pokemon battle with you?
Okay, I must have a solid fight.
I thought you couldn't move 1 millimeter.
Just 1 or 2 Pokemon fights before breakfast.
This is lunch, so that would be before lunch.
Pikachu!
Oh my god.
I did it!
It was just because your opponent was weak.
Didn't even raise them well.
Just get stronger and stronger.
Beautiful.
We couldn't even beat him even once, but the word surrender isn't in our dictionary.
I will get that Pikachu.
Oh, look at that.
I'm so hungry.
I got a frying pan.
What good is such a thing without meat and vegetables? It's just an iron board.
Okay, and see. Oh, all right, okay.
All right, just to let you guys know, I'm a big horror fan, but one of my favorite all-time horror films is The Evil Dead. And actually, back when I was actually in a cosplay competition with this lovely young lady right here, where my cosplay skit was Ash versus the Evil Dead Pokemon. And I actually won for Best Novice Act, so as soon as I saw Ash, I started laughing hysterically because bring me back to me cosplaying Ash.
You're already making things stew in my head here. All right. Okay. So then I'll tell you what. All right. So let's do this now. Okay. So same scene now for a second. All right. And here, let's run with that for just a moment. All right. So here's what I want the rest of you guys to do now. Okay, so now for this situation, same scene, we're gonna do it again. Only this time playing on the Evil Dead shtick or whatever. I wanna hear what all of you guys sound like trying to read the same thing as if you were zombies. I want to see what your interpretations of this are. Okay.
Is our characters regular?
Yeah.
Wait, the zombies speak English? They don't just go...
Interpret as you see fit.
Yeah. So you're Bruce Campbell Ash now.
Like if they were able to speak English. Let's see how you incorporate. Okay. Oh, trust me, it's gonna sound fun coming out of me too. Us and others on journey training Pokemon masters. Beautiful day. They take break in fields.
All right, you primitive screwheads, is it ready yet? I can't even 1 more millimeter because I'm too starving.
Stew well and raise slowly. You mustn't be in a rush with both soup or keeper. Boy over there. Ash from Palatown.
Yeah, that's me, Slimehead, that's me.
Can I have a Pokemon battle?
Groovy. Okay, let's have a solid fight.
I thought you couldn't move 1 millimeter.
Well, I can still move 1 millimeter, yeah, basically.
This is lunch. So that would be before lunch.
Over there. Somebody get her.
Yeah, I did it!
It was just because your opponent was weak. It didn't even raise them well.
They got you stronger.
We couldn't even beat him once, but the word surrender isn't in our dictionary.
I will get Pikachu.
I'm so hungry for brains! What good is such a thing without guts and brains? It's just an iron boy.
Here, wait. You come over here. It'd probably be better if we, if I'm not running a little less running around because you got your bit. And
You gotta work this.
Yes.
Oh my
no,
goodness.
trust me, I need to drop a few, so it's fine. I've got this 3rd degree black belt, but I'm out of practice. So, so that was interesting to. I figured, like I said, a lot of the grunting and the guttural and stuff like that would come through in that particular. Just before we try something, let me just ask out of curiosity. Like I said, of all the roles that any of you guys have done with regards to like having to like. What's like probably been the one where you've had like most dramatically change your voice or whatever, sort of like that you could think of?
I play this character in a show called Snack World, named Pluglet, who was like really crunchy, really like this kind of a thing, like that kind of thing. But in actuality, and this is like a great lesson for anybody who like is thinking about maybe going into voiceover for their career or has an interest in it. You never want to do something that you can't sustain, that you're going to get injured doing. If there's a chance that you are going to blow out your cords making a vocal change to make a character, make a different choice. Because let's say it's a show that has 52 episodes, you're going to have to keep doing that thing every time you go in for a session. So it's really, really, really important that whatever choice you make, it's something that you can sustain healthily.
Seems fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine for because everybody figures with these different voice actor roles that it's just like it's always going to sound exactly like the way you're normally talking right now in every single thing whatever. And I know clearly that's far from the case. So I mean just straining through everything I'm trying to say in this bit or whatever. But you guys have managed to handle it okay over the years, and I hope.
I have a question about that, actually. You mentioned before that a lot of your characters are screaming. How do you handle that on a regular basis?
And
I wasn't.
How much tea do you drink on a regular basis?
I feel like my vocal training for screaming was teaching martial arts. I grew up in the gym, teaching classes, and kids would take my class, and I'd just yell at the kids and yell at them. Parents would take class, and I'd yell at their parents too. So there was a lot of yelling in martial arts that I think conditioned my voice to do a lot of screaming. But after you scream a lot, you kind of know where you can go and when you're going to hurt yourself. And there's times that you can't pull back and you can't stop, and you have to kind of take it that extra stage, and you just hope that you're working with a team that can protect you. I've worked on a number of military games like Call of Duty, and there's no way to protect yourself when you're yelling, "Grenade!" You can't hold that back, and you leave those sessions barely being able to talk. But that's kind of what you have to do.
It's like every day in the studio is like as if you're at a rock concert or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was working on Attack on Titan, especially season 1, I would fly out to Texas. I stayed with the director, Mike, and we drive into the studio, and he listens to metal music. So it's like 30 minutes of like, and I had like 8 hours because I was trying to record as much as possible of Aaron going, it's good times.
Okay. And speaking of which, okay, because now for the next rounds or whatever, okay, we are going to perform this one more time as if we are actually performing at a heavy metal rock concert.
All right. I apologize in advance. I'm not as great a singer.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready for a Pokemon battle? Ash and the others are on a journey to become Pokemon masters. They are ready for the fight, but they want to take a break. They are in the fields right now, preparing for their next piece of the journey.
All right, is it bloody ready yet? I mean, it's yeah, well, I can't, love, you know, even more 1 millimeter because I'm just starved, little baby, yeah.
Do well and raise slowly. You mustn't be in a rush with both super Pokemon!
Hey, you! The boy over there! Are you Ash from Power Town?
Oh, that's me, love, yeah, that's me.
Can I have a Pokemon battle with you?
All right, let's have a solid 5. A bloody 5, that is.
I thought you couldn't move 1 millimeter!
I just want to 1-2 Pokemon fight before breakfast, love, yeah.
This is lunch! So that would be before lunch! Pikachu!
Oh my god!
Yeah, baby, I did it, yeah!
It was just because your opponent was weak! You didn't even raise them!
Stronger, stronger!
Beautiful!
We couldn't even beat him once! But the word surrender is in our dictionary!
I will get that Pikachu!
But look at that!
I'm so hungry!
I got a frying pan!
What good is a thing without meat and vegetables? It's just an iron board!
I really like. I'm so hungry.
Love that.
Somehow partway through that or whatever, it sounded like we got away from rock and we went first to an English pub and then we got into witch territory over here.
British invasion.
I mean, has there ever been a time with you guys where it's like you had an idea for where you thought the voice of the character was supposed to go, and then when you first tried it, it sounded like something like completely different from what you were expecting, and it's like, well, what the heck just came out of my mouth?
Yes, and basically anytime I'm doing a character for the first time, I'm like not quite in the pocket of it yet. I always say it's kind of like early episodes of The Simpsons, which if you ever go back and watch, you're like, they don't quite sound like how they sound, 20 years later, where they're really locked into these characters because they've been doing them for so long. So yeah, I always find my first few sessions with a character, I'm like, trying to find it, I don't know.
What kind of notes do they usually give you when you're first reading for a part?
Well, so fun fact about Pokemon, the amount of time that we got today with this script, that's about as much time as you get when you're going into audition for Pokemon. You don't get to see the script ahead of time. You get in the booth and you're like, cool, so here's some art, here's what they look like, here is what they sound like in Japanese, here's the script, go. And that's about it. That's about as much prep time as you get. So the notes would typically be, sometimes they want it to sound like the Japanese character if it is a dub. Sometimes they're like, it doesn't matter about that, but here, look at them, see what they look like, let's find where it's placed. It also, I think, depends. Sometimes directors are musically minded, and if they know that the talent is musically minded, they may speak to them in more musical terms. Like, let's maybe, take it up in your pitch. Let's maybe bring it to your chest voice. They'll be able to talk in certain dynamics. But a lot of times it's more about the choice than it is about the voice. Like, if you need to, who is this character? How old are they? What do they look like? What are they trying to do? And all of that should inform what they're going to sound like more than just I think it's up here.
That seems to make sense, and I can understand you with the what you're saying about that. Like I said, this is the first time you see it. That's literally because I remember you guys are you guys that are Gabriel Iglesias fans or whatever. I remember he talked in one of his comedy bits about when he used to try to read for roles and stuff like that. He even said like when he first goes to read, it's like how do you want this? Like how much energy do you want with this? And they're like you don't know, and I'm like that's why I'm asking. So that's what I mean. You got to literally come up with it on the fly or whatever. Yeah. So I totally get you.
That's the challenge. A lot of time we audition remotely. So you don't have a person that you can ask questions to. And I get a lot of auditions that are, they describe a character. Sometimes they show images. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the description I get is, boy, 16. And that's it.
Great.
Good luck. So it's like shooting darts at a dartboard blindfold. You just hope you hit the bullseye.
Like I said, pretty much the same thing with you there. So.
Yeah, because like me, if you're trying to impersonate a character, if you can't just come out right and impersonate the character, what I try to do is find a character that might sound similar to it, and then kind of branch it off from there, or kind of make it your own, which sometimes works. One of the characters I cosplay a lot is Egon Spengler from Ghostbusters, and obviously there's Harold Ramis and the actor who did the voice in the real Ghostbusters and Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon. So of course, when I would do Egon Spengler and talk about the Twinkie, I kind of figured something in between, which works pretty well for doing his character, but sometimes you just have to, like I said, if you can't really get it, like sometimes it's very hard to get that right pitch. Like certain characters, they might sound like really you gotta listen to the character because sometimes they sound too nasally or they sound too too deep. And you gotta really kind of focus on the pitch of the character and the actual sound of the character. And then just go from there. But when you're creating a character just completely from scratch, that's a little difficult because then, when I was actually reading this, one of the things that years back I actually did a voice audition for Brock when they were redoing the new voice dubs for Pokemon. And I remember literally what he was saying is I just went in there, didn't even see the script, didn't see nothing. And he's like, okay, you're reading this, go. And I'm like, So, it is with anime, it is very difficult sometimes to kind of just, because literally you just throw it in the air, okay, do this. But other times if you're doing just regular voiceover stuff, like I've done for commercials and even like animatronics for haunted houses and things like that, you have a script so you can take your time, you can read it, but you have to be really just on the money really quick when it comes to anime scripts, because they want basically, it's time is money, as they say. So you just got to just go in there and hopefully nail it first time.
It's pretty crazy, and like I said, I don't envy you guys one bit for what is it that you do and stuff like that. I mean,
you should. It's really fun.
Yeah, it does look like fun.
No, I'm sure it is. I'm just saying that. Yeah, no, I could not imagine myself even even trying with that, or at least being able to hang remotely on anything you guys do or whatever. But hey, I applaud you guys for trying. You're a better person than I am. So okay, all right. So here's what we're gonna do for this last go around. If this works, I got one more idea. This one's gonna be the craziest one yet. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. So this time now, as we go through the scripts, I want everybody here to to pretend that we are all doctors in the ER, and as if everybody that's coming into the scene in some way or another, we're acting as if we are in the middle of a rush of people that are coming in with major injuries and stuff like that. So I want to hear.
Yeah, right.
Well, I want to see where the extremity goes here and stuff like that or whatever. So, oh God, I'm scared of my own right here. Yeah. Okay, we've got Ash and the others here coming in. They're just coming for a Pokemon journey, but they've got massive internal injuries. We've got to lay them down here out on the field stat.
Oh, is the CCs of storage and closing ready yet?
Ash, you can help too.
I can't even more. We need 3 where's the syringe needle? Come on, this guy's fading right here. Come on, stab.
Ow, my arm! Don't go so fast! You mustn't be in a rush with both soup or Pokemon on my arm!
Quick, the boy over there.
no time to talk. Come on, this guy's fading. Come on, fast now.
Well, we have a Pokemon battle first.
Fine. Okay, really quick. Okay, you over there. Here, let's go.
I thought you couldn't move 1 millimeter.
There's 1 or 2 more Pokemon. Okay, then we gotta get back to this guy. 'Cause, I mean, this guy's fading fast. Pulse it down, 30%.
This is lunch! So that would be before lunch!
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He's fine.
Clear!
You're regretting this.
I did it!
It was just because your opponent was weak.
He didn't even raise the blow.
Pikachu gets stronger and stronger.
Beautiful, but what's happening?
We couldn't even save him. But the word surrender isn't in our dictionary.
I'm gonna get that Pikachu 1 minute.
Oh, look at that.
Did it change?
I'm so hungry.
I got a frying pan and now I need a scalpel.
What good is a surgery without a scalpel? It's just a corpse.
Interesting choice.
Pokemon!
Oh my.
I'm sorry, I took this on that trip.
Oh boy. Are you okay?
I'm trying to get myself back to a normal pulse here. Right? So I mean, it's very good. All right. You guys are good. Let's give these guys. So that was unfortunately a little bit regrettable, which I had not suggested that. Okay, and while we're on the subject of regret here, let me ask. I know this is going to be a very weird question to potentially close on here. We'll try to come up with a happier question after this. However, in going back over all the roles that you guys have had or whatever, is there any one particular role that you did actually have that you had any sort of regret about doing? Now take whatever angle you want on that. I'm not saying anything in relation to running down your producers or whatever, but just like I said, interpret as you see fit.
No, I think for me there isn't a role. I think you work so hard to get that work, and when you're working, you kind of live in the moment, and you're the best actor that you could be right at that time. For me, like growing up in the industry, would there be things that I would change in my performance from things I've done earlier? Sure, but it's kind of cool to see that because that's where I was as an actor, and you hope that you continue to evolve and grow and get better, and that just never stops. So I don't think for me there's a role that I regret. I really love all the opportunities that I've had.
Do you think maybe perhaps there was one that in going back and listening to it like years down the road, it's like, oh God, that sounds so horrible. I could have done that better.
I mean, I'm not that tough on myself because that's just where you are as an actor at that time. But you do kind of like watch some of the stuff that you're in and think about it and think, how can I, next time I get an opportunity, how could I approach that differently? But no, I don't think it's valuable to be that tough on yourself.
Yeah, I feel similarly. There's no role that I've played that I regret, and I've actually always been very proud of myself for if there are things in a script that I see that I don't think are okay, I will always speak up and say so. Like, there are things culturally, like fat shaming jokes that I'm just like, hey, that's not gonna fly, and I really don't feel comfortable doing it, and like, let's find a way to change that so it'll still flap, but like, that I'm not saying something that I do not feel like I want to say. And I have fortunately always worked with directors who are like, yes, good, let's not do that. So yeah, also no regrets.
How often have you run into something like that?
Oh, more often than you'd think. Like, I don't know what it was, but like it's actually cooled a bit, but like 5 years ago, a bunch of the dubs that I was doing, they all had fat jokes, just constantly fat jokes, and I was like, not okay with it, so. No, not on Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought we left all the Yo Mama stuff in the 90s.
I know.
Yeah, right?
I know. It's, yeah. Yeah.
You just see Audible just saying you're fat.
Audible saying you're fat would just be.
Yeah, I never regretted any of the roles I did, either both acting or voiceover. I have a crazy sense of humor. Besides my grandfather, one of the first comedians I really fell in love with was Robin Williams when he was on Work and Mindy. And if you ever seen the show, I mean, he's jumping all over the place like a crazy person. And so that was like, that's the kind of person I wanted to be, play crazy
That's his
characters like
entire
that.
life.
And but there was one thing though I did regret doing, which I don't recommend, was when I was in high school. Because in the morning I would watch a lot of old school cartoons. Like I love the old classics, Hanna-Barbera and everything. And one of the ones they show reruns a lot in the morning before I went to school was Rocky and Bullwinkle. And so we were in math class, sorry. And my friends know that I do impersonation and stuff like that. So when, of course the teacher's asking, okay, now what is the answer to this problem? Who, raise your hand, type of thing. And so everyone's just kind of like, do a funny voice or something. And so then finally the teacher, picks on me, like, Dennis, what do you think it is? Well, I think it happens to be 42. And so I think the whole class laughing hysterical. The teacher was just deer in headlights is staring at me like, holy, now. And so luckily I talked my way out of getting detention that day, because the teacher didn't have a good sense of humor. But
did you do it in the Bullwinkle voice?
Did you what?
Did you talk your way out in the Bullwinkle voice?
No, because he was kind of pissed off at that point. So
Here, real quick. How would Ash sound as Bullwinkle?
Oh no!
Gee, all right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my boomstick. A trail case from Lavera Remington. A smart step of the line. You find us in the sporting goods department. That's right, the sweet baby event is in the Grand Rapids, Michigan. Retails for about $109.95. Get a walnut stock, color blue steel, and a hair trigger. That's right. Shop smart, shop S-smart. You got it!
Man, that shtick so well, I forgot what you were even selling. Yikes! So it's a little crazy there, but all right. But now here, just to spin the question. So you guys said you have, don't really have any major regrets about the stuff that you have done. Any regrets about one role you really wanted that you didn't get, or?
Many roles that I would love to have gotten, but.
Well, let's narrow down one example.
If you pick one.
I auditioned for Morty in Rick and Morty. That would have been amazing to play Morty. But there's a reason why you're not cast in those roles. There's someone that, just plays that character differently or more appropriate for the show. Maybe there's another actor in the show that, your voice doesn't play off of the right way. So there's kind of a reason why you're put in these roles, and it's up to the casting directors ultimately to decide that.
Oh yeah, no, of course, yeah. This is just kind of like it would have been cool if kind of sort of. Just curious.
I auditioned for Wednesday Addams in the new Addams Family.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, but it's all really famous people, and I'm not famous enough. So that's why that went the way it did.
So tough.
Yeah.
So tough.
As I said on the sign, welcome to New Jersey. What are you looking at? I was so mad when I saw that sign or whatever. It's like, God, why do we keep picking on Jersey? I'm not that smart.
Because everything is legal in New Jersey.
A little bit, yeah.
And most of it I do not partake in.
I guess for me, one of the things, it was some independent company, I forget who they were, but they were looking for people who could impersonate all the characters from the anime Hellsing. Hellsing happens to be my #1 top favorite anime, because I'm a big fan of all the old school classic horror villains like Dracula, Frankenstein, Mummy, all them and everything. And I auditioned for it, and I was like, it was me and somebody else pretty much. That was like neck to neck type of thing. Heard nothing for weeks, and I'm like, well, we decided we're going with the other person. I was like, oh! So, but yeah, that would have been so cool to get that.
What was the part exactly?
It was pretty much to do the voice of Alucard.
Okay, and here, give me because again.
Well, I had to talk like this, like a very sexy police girl, because that's the kind of thing I do.
Here, I gotta get that out of my head. Real quick, we got time for one more question here. Let's get one more thing in here. I just want here. I'm just double checking for somebody we haven't heard from in any capacity or whatever cases. Here, go ahead.
So my question to all of you is, how do you not see your as an artist? How do you not do yourself too harsh? How do you when when you do your work and you don't think it's good enough, but other people say it is, and objectively it is, but when you can't not see that yourself, how do you guys do it?
This kind of goes in conjunction with what you were talking about a second ago about not being your own worst
critic.
Worst critic, yeah.
That's such a great question. I think if you have friends and family who can reflect back to you your worth and how great you are at what you're doing, and also just your value as a person outside of being an artist, right? Then you can have your own sense of self, your own sense of self-worth enough to feel strong enough in who you are that even if you think your work in whatever particular avenue is not strong enough at that moment, that you're like, but I still have worth and I am still lovable and I'm still all these things. And then eventually, hopefully, you can look at your stuff with a bit more objectivity and be able to actually see the value in whatever it is that you're creating. And that takes time, right? It takes practice. It takes looking at other people whose work you respect in that avenue and being able to eventually be like, well, I may not be this person, but I'm me. And that's just as great, if not better, than trying to be somebody else.
Any other closing thoughts on that matter? Or?
Yeah, I think it's me, for example, since I do a lot of original voices and character voices, I usually hate hearing myself. Type of thing, and sometimes
that kind of plays into what I thought and some because I know that there's you always hear from it from some actors, whether it be voice or actual thing. It's I can't watch myself, I can't hear myself or any sort of thing like that.
Yeah, the same way, but I mean sometimes though it's in a way it's kind of magical where you record a voice and you listen to it and that's not me doing that voice, but yes it is. I mean it's just when you get that magic moment, that wonderful feeling of just wow, that's really me doing that. It's a really, really cool feeling to get. And so I mean don't be like I said, I hate listening to myself and watching myself, but on film and stuff like that. But I mean you definitely gotta do it because it helps you grow as a performer, to learn mistakes and things like that you do. Even if nobody else notices them, you might notice them, and so definitely that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah, I think there's a healthy amount of challenge that you can, give to yourself. And if you are too rough on yourself, it becomes not healthy anymore. It actually pushes you the other direction. So you want to challenge yourself and continue that growth and identify things that could be improved upon, but don't do it to the point where it's taking you away from that growth and hurting your art. That's what I
it takes away from your love of it and the whole thing right there. Yeah, where it becomes more of a chore than an actual labor of love and stuff like that. No, I get that completely. Yeah, it's I try to adapt with that just within my my own job within just trying to just teach kids high school math on a regular basis and stuff like that. So it's difficult for all of us, but we do what we can with it. So that's good. So yeah, so I think for that words of wisdom to live by from them or whatever. I wanna thank you guys for making this a much less painful experience than I thought it was going to be in the heat of the moment. Let's give these guys a hand for this.